Okay, okay, okay. Let's get this party started. I think I got all the things on. Did I get all the things on? Is that up there? Yeah. Yeah. I think everything's on. I'm curious, is the shirt bleeding through? Oh yeah. Yeah. The green on my D&D ampersand is not happy. Hold on. I can't hear myself. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh yeah, that's way better. Way better. Yeah, that was definitely a facepalm moment. Yeah. Can't hear myself. Yeah. I'm not even going to introduce the show. We're just going to jump right into new emotes, folks. Go check out the new emotes. Now I'm going to introduce the show. Hey, welcome to Friday afternoon, specifically. This is Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything Untitled Champion, and I'm an emote now. Not one, not two, but 3 emotes, apparently. Although I can't access the third one. I see how it is. They want more money out of my subs to get to the Gar Shock one, which is basically me in Home Alone. Is what I take it as. Gar alone. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I've got to, you know what? Let's just bring them up. Hold on. Let's do the big image. Can I? Oh, no, hold on. I got to fix that thing too. All the technical things. Now, can you read that? Yes. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. All courtesy of Luke McKay. Thank you, Luke. And thank you, Dylan, and the rest of the Idle Champions crew for finally giving us some amazing emotes. Wait, though, didn't that Scream take and Home Alone require aftershave, though? Yeah. But, you know. I'm gonna love it. Yeah, that's it. That's what you get. Yeah, that's it. Those are my emotes. That's it. But if you'll notice, we have Mars, we have Trevor, and we have Jason Charles Miller, and then there's another one for Sean, because Sean needed another one. But Sean and Lee. This is more Lee, I think, than Sean. So we're just going to give this one to Lee, and then, you know, call him for me. So yeah. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag blessed in chat, folks. Hashtag blessed in chat. Dylan's not here. We can do it and get away with it. Right? That's what that means. Yeah, so right now the subs are, I'm getting a TLDR. The subs are split between tier 1 and tier 2, mainly because they don't have enough subscribers to the channel to just put them all in tier 1, because, you know, Twitch gates that. So, you know, if you want to sub to the Idle Games channel, yeah, more emotes, potentially. I should probably do something Idle Champions related. Oh, hey, Esmeralda's getting beat up. Well, she can get beat up. Let's talk about the weekend. It's the Entertainers Weekend with the little tiny chest, because that's the way it always is the first time. There we go. We got the Baloth, the Brunor, the Beetle and Grim, the Shandy. They lost the bees. The Shandy and the Averin all this weekend. Lots of good stuff. If you were looking to do some pushing this weekend, it's a good time. Knock out some difficult variants that let you use like Averin, excuse me, and Beetle and Grim, and, you know, and them too. And there's bug fixes too. So there's like, this is the great one. Change the Modron core so that when added to a party, its automation to toggle off by default. Praise be to Modrons. Praise be to Modrons. Now when I swap my a core from one to the other, it doesn't automatically reset me. Yes, thank you. But there's some other fixes, like Baloth's Morbid Excitement was causing some problems. So that's fixed too. So yeah, lots of fixes. Lots of fixes. What's with the disdain for hashtag blessed? I feel like I'm behind on some things, or joined after that event occurred. So Dylan's just over the whole hashtag blessed thing. And I think I said it once for something, because I thought it was hilarious. I think we were doing Celeste's. The song for Celeste on Bardic Inspiration. And so, of course, I rhymed Celeste. I thought it was perfect. I rhymed Celeste with hashtag blessed. And Dylan timed me out from chat. And ever since then, anytime I say hashtag blast anywhere, I get timed out in chat. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. You've done it multiple times, Dylan. You've done it multiple times. Yeah. Jay and Sasha save me, usually. One or the other. Somebody saves me. Honky Tonk Hero, right into the meat and potatoes. Thoughts on the new free chest. So if you didn't get your code out for today, today's code, which is real weird. Hold on, let me... This is an odd code. Cork Ratch Nabs. I think this is like a diner in Waterdeep that's like gets an E from the health code. They serve Cork Ratch Nabs. I'm stealing Mars's bit just for one stream because yeah. Why did the stream stop? Someone turned it off right after Gaarawarr said hashtag blast. Yeah, exactly. That was supposed to be an Electrum chest, but it isn't. So apparently the ones I'm getting through the partner portal are still gold. There will be Electrum chests though. From now on, usually the chests that you receive from streams like this one, and from podcasts that you listen to and stuff, they're going to be Electrum chests. I have some in my inventory, so I can just show you. Hey, look, Electrum chests. Each chest contains 5 items, and then it gives a list. And the thing about this is it doesn't say it has a chance for the different things. You literally get one equipment item for a random unlocked champion. So any champion you own, you could get an equipment piece for, even the event ones. 1 gem card, first chest to drop gems, to just straight drop gems, because you're not buying them with gems. So you're getting them free, and then you can go buy other chests, right? 1 bounty contract, 1 blacksmith contract, and 1 potion. And the rarities go from common to rare. So you can't get epics out of these chests. They won't drop feats. But they will drop, because they do drop gear, they will drop shinies. So you can get shinies out of Electrum chests. And that's fantastic, because we get a lot of these every week. There's lots of shows, not just on the Idle Champions Cinematic Universe Network, but also in all the like partner streams and stuff that happen. So yeah, this morning's show, I think because the reason mine was still a gold was because I had mine generated on Monday. And these didn't even get announced until Wednesday. So yeah, so we have Electrum chests. I'm holding on to mine for now because we have a new champion coming up, Wednesday. And, you know, they may have talked and thrown out some hints about it being a human champion. Say hello to Human. Human is coming next Wednesday. Yay for Human. We get more Humans. Yeah, so the adorable 3 kobolds in a trench coat are arriving in Idle Champions as a playable champion. Hello, fine bartender. I would like 1 cup of your finest beverage, please. Yes. Thank you. The normal human beverage, please. Yes. It's working. The human beverage is ale. I should have done the talking. How tall are we? So tall. Shh. Yeah, this is fantastic. Fantastic. Seeing as a program or something for streamers that generates chest codes. Yeah. Well, we don't necessarily create it ourselves. We put in a little behind the scenes. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but basically we send in a request and then they approve it. And then it sends us that so that we don't have to be bugging someone like all the time, like I do with Dylan for my Saturday codes. Cause my Saturday codes are specific. My Saturday codes are specific for me. Human. Yeah. Zrang, Klebe, and Yasa have a brilliant plan. Trick the humans into thinking they are one of them and loot all their stuff. Honestly, they can't believe this hasn't happened already. I mean, fair. Dead Last Gaarawarr, did you bring your towel for this? The 40-second guide to the life of the universe and everything? I did. Now, don't believe the episode number above. It does say 40. However, I did an episode 0 to start off this entire thing. And at one point I did an episode and a half, like 16 and a half, because it was a special Wednesday. Like those two, I was like, oh, I should do like on the Wednesdays. I should do when we do like the special stream, quarterly stream thing. The first one we'll do episode 0. That'll be neat. Ha ha ha. And then, oh, now we should make it a half. Ha ha ha. And then it just totally throws up the counting and the tracking for everything. And I screwed myself. So this is actually episode 42. And I did bring my towel. My towel looks different from most people's. Can everybody see this? Yes, this is my towel. What is this? This is my travel towel. Oh yeah. Did you hear that? Hear that? ASM Gaarawarr. ASMR. Yeah. ASMR. There we go. So this is like a special, it's nice. It's a good size. It's big. It gets pretty big. But this is one of those microfibers. So you wash yourself all off, and then you can just wring it out and all the water comes out, and then you fold it back up and you put it back in your carry case. So it's for traveling, which is exactly what you want when you need to have a towel everywhere, right? That is my towel. I take it with me on all my road trips. It's great. It's great because it doesn't get moldy or anything, because by the time you wring it all out and then fold it all up, it's completely dry. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, like a ShamWow. Yeah, except for your body. Travel. What is travel? I don't know anymore. That's why this was in the house and not in a car. It was literally just right over there. Okay, so human is a kobold and a human, right? Gender male and female, because Yas is a female and the other two are males. Slot 8 swaps for Delana, so just another reason to never use Delana. Apparently, they put all the fun stuff in Delana's slot. It's gonna be neat. I think even if you aren't like super into using them for their buffs, they have some speed effects, right? So if they're placed in the front columns, enemies have like an X. It says X. We'll get into this in a second. But placed in the front X columns, enemies have a 25% chance to drop double quest items or count for double quest progress. And from what I can tell, this improves with gear via carefully balanced. Yeah, carefully balanced has an item, and that will improve this. So this is a lot like Havilar has for Fiends. This is a lot like Melf has as one of the options. So this is pretty fantastic. And the X, it depends. Like down here, in formations with 4 or less columns, X is always 1. So the front column, and front is counted from where your enemies are. So front is your tank column, and then you go back. Back is the back of the party. So basically, if you have them in the tank spot, you get that chance for double quest project. This is basically completely 100% built for gem farming, because you don't need a tank when you're gem farming. So throw the human up into the front row. It's going to be fine. And then you get buffage if you put them in the middle, like damage against bosses. But also, we get a little Esmeralda throwback. If the boss has hits-based or armor-based health, successful attacks destroy twice as many segments as they normally would. So, yeah. Esmeralda was already great against armored and hit-based stuff. And now we get that effect again. So, using both of them. Why? ¿Por qué no los dos? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué no? Yeah. And then if you throw them all the way in the back, Yasa increases the damage of champions in the columns, 2 columns in front of them, by 100%. And then, hello, fuel at fellow humans. These are the buff increases, basically, and this is what the items are for, or one of the items for, and then carefully balanced is for the speed effect. And then please stand by there's lots of passives, right? Like you get Zrang boss enemies move 25% slower. So this is when they're not the one on the top, because the key is whatever slot you're in is they swap places, and a different one of them will be on the top. So when they're on the bottom, when Zrang's not on top, boss enemies move slower. When Cleaved not on top, hits based and armor based enemies and blockers have a 50% chance of spawning with a quarter of their hits already gone. Real nice. And then Yasa reduces base attack cooldowns of adjacent stuff. So there's a lot of neat stuff going on here. And then specs. Oh, did we say humans? We meant. So, hello, fellow humans ability now uses the most populous race in your formation instead of humans. So instead of basing buffs on the numbers, like if you were running an all kobold party, perchance, then it would count for kobolds instead of just humans. And then impressive coat work. Nice. The effect of all teamwork abilities increased. So it depends. Like you're most often than more often than not, you're probably going to do this unless if you're running a human-based party, you're just going to go impressive coat work. If you're running something that's got more of some other race and you want to buff that, or you want to use that buff, then you're going to go, did we say humans? And the ultimate does lots of different things. You get 12 attacks, first off. 12 random bolts from attacks. The effective Raim's teamwork is doubled for 30 seconds, or non-boss enemies are stunned and no additional enemies respawn. That one's real nice. Can you say this is fantastic for those bosses that are hit-based but stream out enemies? Because sometimes you're like, we just need to clear out what's out here and not have any new stuff spawn so we can actually hit the boss. Maybe fire off that curl ultimate finally. This is going to be nice. Stop. And then faster gives you all your ults back quicker. Pretty neat, pretty neat. It wouldn't work on the Devourer because the Devourer is a boss that, well, I don't know. If you did it before the first wave came out, would no addition enemies spawn and just spawn a Devourer? You'd have to try it. You'd have to try it. I feel like that would just delay everything, but new champ. Who dis? We don't know. We don't know how it's going to work. They get double all champs damage, and then again those specific abilities, and then the usual ult. So this is very much a support champ item set that we've seen and loved before. The walking sticks are fantastic, right? Like this is how they stack up and walk around. That's just good. Just good. If Deacon gets wings, Human wants wings. Klebe. Yes. Yes. So this comes out on Wednesday. Make sure you head over to the CNE Games channel on Wednesday here. On Wednesday afternoon for Mars's Guiding Hand, because I have no doubt that Mars is going to... Oh my. Hold on. Did we get another? I missed that emote. There is a hashtag blessed emote in chat now. That wasn't on the list. That's a bonus. We have our own hashtag blessed emote. Yay. Yeah, so head over. I'm sure Mars is probably going to voice them all, and that's always enjoyable. That was the closest you get to me voicing things. So what's the strategy for when to open? Going back to questions from the chat that Sasha has been kind enough to grab for me. I wasn't ignoring you, chat. They're all over here. I don't lose them. The questions are over here. Chat is over here. Game's right here. What's the strategy for when to open Electrum? There's some debate about this. Why was I doing this? I think I was going to go do a time gate. There's some debate about when to do that. I think... No, we don't want... Ooh. I think... So I'm going to hold mine for the new champion. I am going to... For Human, right? I'm going to hold on to them. And then... when I start running events, like my usual thing, if you haven't been here before to see me open chests and be real super specific about my chest opening because I've got obsessive collection disorder, I always open my silvers first, and then I open all the silvers during the event, but I don't open any golds until after the event ends. I want to make sure I've opened every silver first. That's usually the goal. I am still going to do that. I'm still going to open all those silvers, but what's going to happen with these Electrum Chests is I'm going to basically take the Electrum Chests, and if I don't get, like if it gives me holes somewhere, or it doesn't, if I don't get something that I want, I'm going to hope that the Electrums fill that in. So I'm still going to use the silvers first, because the Electrum, the silvers, I'll get vastly more silvers during the event just because of how many tokens I burn. I'll get vastly, and this is just me doing one champion, I will get vastly more silvers than I will have Electrum at the time. So I will use Electrum as filler, as a way to fill in any gaps I get. So I would use them as second priority after silvers. And then golds will just go on top, because the Electrum can only drop white, green, and blue. So they're like a silver chest in that sense. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just that they have gear for every champion you have unlocked. So yeah. I'm going to be doing a free. Let's just hop into a freely time gate. So with that swap, basically I chose freely because he was my lowest item levels. I need to go in and into this. Real question, does Human count for 1 or 3 for formation buffs? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably, I don't know all the rules yet, they're not out. It's probably 1 in terms of being a champion, but it is 2 in case of like race. So they will count as both a human and a kobold. So if they're counting things like that, it should count for both. But that's about it. That's all I know. What do I got? I've got, oh, hey, I do have a run to 51 here. Yeah, let's do that one. Preload. Oh, and we'll add some Briv. And so this is how I do my time gates. I don't recommend this for everybody, but I just do an hour-long potions for everything but health, because I don't need the health. And I do the speed. And then wherever I get an hour is wherever I get in an hour. And I'm not too troubled. I don't try to push super deep on the first round. You know what? Let's bring our friend Binwin in. But let's change his skin. This was Solstice Binwin. I think it's time to go back to Petrified Binwin. And since this is a freely time gate, let's put freely in. Should I not use my chests right away if I'm new? Honey Badger, if you're talking about like silvers and golds, like when you're brand new, yeah, use them. That gear is important. As you start gearing up, like your focus should be early on buying silver chests until you're at least all greens across like your core and evergreen. So, you know, those 12 champions that you originally get plus Hitch, if you're brand new, try to get them all in green by silvers. Once they're all in greens though, then just start spending all your gems on golds. I mean, you'll still open every silver you get because you're still getting item levels and potions and things out of them that are useful. But then golds, I hoard mine because I don't need the stuff that's in them right away. So I tend to open them in very specific manners, but that's more of a thing that once you figure out why you do that, then you'll know why you do that. So it's not something to worry about when you're new. When you're new, you need all the items. Get all the items. Oh, this is okay. Okay, I see what's going on. So is Human now in your dwarf party? I mean, you technically you could throw. Well, he's not a dwarf. He would be in a short folk party, I think, because he counts as a kobold. You could put him in a short folk party with Ishi, and whoever. Oh, Lazaps, right? Yeah. But not a dwarf. But you could put them in a dwarf party and then switch them over so that they're buffing based off dwarfs instead of humans. It doesn't change, subtly, it doesn't change their race. It changes the buff. It changes what race they buff off of. Let's go back over there because there seems to be some confusion on that. Hello, fellow humans. You hear it? Increases the effect of Klebe and Yas's teamwork abilities based on the number of human champions in the formation. This is what gets changed. Did we say humans? We meant This just changes this from humans, so the buff that it's based off of, to a different race. It doesn't change the race of human. It changes who they will buff based off of. So if you're running all kobolds, then you would switch to you would use this spec. You would use this spec down here. Did we say humans? We meant kobolds. Did we say humans? We meant dwarfs. They're still a kobold and a human, but they will buff based off the different race. Just to clarify. Okay, then Sean gave wrong information. I mean, sure. Sure. It's brand new. There's a lot of times this is the first time we're seeing it, but if you look directly at it, you know, that's what it says. I'm just going by what it says. If you use Human and Esmeralda, is it additive or multiplicative, do you think? So I did get confirmation that they stack, but I don't know if it stacks additively or multiplicatively. I would say it's probably additively. So I think you're probably going, the normal would be if you put in Esmeralda, Esmeralda has that same feat. If you put in Esmeralda, Esmeralda usually says, do I want any of these? I guess I want more gold out of Dritz. Esmeralda usually says, if you can take one chunk off, then you get another. So you get 2. And that's what Human says. So I think instead of taking 1, you'll take 3 if you use them both. I don't think it would double to 4. But again, we don't know. And we won't know until they arrive and we test them out fully. Do I care about... Yeah, I guess we'll bring Havilar in. All right. How do you get the gold chest as the game just directed me here? Oh, you put the code in. The code that's down. Hold on. I got to get the camera angle right. That way. The code's right down there. Free chest code. Corkratch nabs. Sold at a fine street vendor near you in Waterdeep. Corkratch nabs. I don't know which one's the right one for that. I don't care. Will Human count as both female and male for Patreon buffs? Yes. It specifically says gender female and male. So yeah. If it doesn't, submit a ticket. Is there a story background to Petrified Binwin? And if so, what's up with the big eye on his back? Oh boy! Settle in, folks. It's time for story time with Gaarawarr. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched this episode that's been out for years now. I'm sorry. I don't care about your spoilers. So once upon a time, Binwin joined the cast of Dice Camera Action, so the Waffle Crew. We have some members, Evelyn and Strix and Paulton. Evelyn was being pursued romantically by the Xanathar, the one and only Xanathar. He had his eye on her and was really trying to make her his. Binwin had just been introduced and was smitten a bit with Evelyn as well, because who's not smitten with Evelyn? I mean, let's be honest. She's just a ray of light and hope in the world, and everyone's smitten with those. So they end up in this with this big thing going on at the I think it was at a temple of Lathander, and everyone was racing out because there was some crazy stuff going on. And of course they're heroes, so they raced in, and the Xanathar appeared because this was his trap to kidnap Evelyn. And he cast some kind of charm or gaze or something on her to make her want to go with him, and was on his way. And Binwin's like, nope. And Binwin starts a fight, pulls out a spear, chucks it at the Xanathar's middle eye, and takes his eye out. Explodes the Xanathar's eye, middle eye. Xanathar's real pissed. And immediately, on the next turn, just eye stalks Binwin. And the first eye stalk petrified him, and it hit. The second eye stalk hit as well, and disintegrated him. Binwin became dust. Binwin is and still canonically dead, or in the Wizards of the Coast canon, Binwin is a pile of dust. Some of that dust resides in a pouch somewhere. I don't know if, I want to say some of it made it back to Ak Inc. But some of the items, I can't remember if it's all of it. Yeah. Basically, no one's ever resurrected Binwin. And the bit after this was that because Binwin and Crowy used to do a show on the Idle Champions Network. And the bit was that when they died, their souls got sucked into the computer network and the CNE servers, and then now they were serving their CNE masters. And but yeah, no, Binwin got a petrified Binwin skin, and that's the spear basically on his side. It's not going through him or anything. It's just strapped to him, and it's got the Xanathar's eye in it. During one of the Akink stage games, Omen asked Evelyn if Binwin's remains were saved. Yeah, that's what I remember, was them kind of being passed off. But I don't know that anything's ever happened with that. Well, I do know nothing's ever happened with that. He's still dead. Can dust be resurrected? Well, I mean, that's Binwin. You just need a part of the person. And that's part of him. Which tanks do you recommend to new players? So 2 to 3 months in. Well, your basic one, Nayeli, in Devotion spec, should be like your first go-to as a new player. Slot 3. And then Tyrell in Wild Shape would be your next one that you have, just by default. And then in the first kind of couple of months of play, you should be working yourself. I posted a new player reference. If you go to my Reddit wiki page, there's a new player reference that I call a guided tour, basically through the game for your first 3 months of playing or so. And like working your way through and picking up Dragon Bait for free. That's another great tank to have. Like that would give you 3 without having to worry about event champions. Now, if you're talking which event champions or time gate champions should you go pick up, Briv, who you see right here on the front leading the charge, is a good pickup. Ayla, I think, is the better one. I think Ayla's over here, right here. One of the Heroes of Erois, who will be featured this weekend, tomorrow. Tomorrow, Gaarawarr's Guide to the Heroes of Erois will be starting at 9 a.m. on the CNE Games channel. Ayla's right here. She's fantastic. I think she will serve you well from the beginning to the end of the game because of her self-shield mechanic and her debuffs. But yeah, I mean, right off the bat, putting Nayeli in Devotion spec instead of in Vengeance spec will make her very tanky and help your party out. And then Tyrell in his Wild Shape spec will make him very tanky. Those are good go-tos right off the bat. And then picking up Dragon Bait as your freebie. But then, you know, whatever other tanks you can get, we're actually going to be getting, if I remember correctly, Havilar comes back on Wednesday. Oh, collapse all. Scroll down to the bottom. Grand Revel. Birdsong is a time gate champion now. We're getting Paulton and Havi. Yeah, Havilar, the Tiefling fighter. So Havi's, Havi's out in this formation. She's another good tank. She's right here. So you could use her as well. Why are these? I did not put those out. Okay. I did want Melf out, though. Do I care about? Here's Dragon Bait, by the way. So he's slot 11. He's a great pickup as well. Yeah. I have a question. When Modron cores reset a run, Havilar will spawn with her imps, but the buff won't activate. That's because it's not supposed to happen. Blazer. Like, yeah. It's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to have to hit an ultimate to bring her ults out, as Havilar works right now. If you're doing some kind of shenanigans with the upgrade and what number it's set on and whatnot, well, that's the bug. Not that they're spawning without the imps. The bug is that the imps are showing up at all because they're not supposed to. I'm here late. What have I missed? Really? Really? You missed all of our new emotes. Tron, look at this. We got Mars emotes. We got Trevor emotes. We got some Jason Charles Millers. We got to flip it. And then we got this Home Alone guy, I guess. And there's a hashtag blessed one that got hidden. Hashtag blessed is in there, though. If you open up and you look at the new CNE Games emotes. Down there in tier 2, there is a CNE emote blessed. Otherwise, you know, these two are nice. Also, there's a new human champion coming to the game. What do you use to add the closed captioning to your stream? It's amazing. It does a lot of work. This is Web Captioner. Web Captioner is a free tool that's out on the internet, developed by one person in their free time. And they do a darn good job on it. Yeah. How do you get the emotes? Emotes are from subscription. So if you subscribe to the channel, you can get the tier, like with a tier 1, you'll get all the tier 1 emotes. If you do a tier 2, you get all of tier 1 and tier 2. But you can also use those channel points, folks. If you go down to the channel points down on the left underneath send a message, which they need a new name, Dylan. Like we gotta come up with a name for what the channel points are called. Because you can customize that. But you can unlock a random sub emote, or you can choose an emote to unlock and kind of rent for 24 hours. And use emotes that way if you want to, just temporarily. Something you can use those channel points on. I've got a lot. I've got 214,000 channel points in this channel. So, can I? Hold on, let me see. Will it let me? See, now I want to go. No, it won't. Because I have a sub, it won't let me unlock the tier 2. So I guess when you use the channel points, it's only going to do the tier 1 emotes. Yeah, Glacer's figuring that out too. Yep. But hey, now there's at least something to use channel points on, because, you know, if you don't have a sub, renting emotes is fun. Hello, Gaarawarr. Were there any plans to enjoy Idle Champions as a multiplayer game? So with guilds, joint events, challenges, or tasks, or PvP? No. However, they ambiguous asynchronous multiplayer, like cooperative multiplayer. No one really knows what that means, but I'm going to just jump in the highly doubtful to any kind of PvP. It's most likely that there will be some way that players can help each other out in some way at some point. But we literally, that's all we've heard. And I don't expect to hear a lot more out of that for a while, but I could be wrong. But I don't know. I think it would be more like joint challenges. That's just my idea. I don't have any inside information on this. I feel like joint challenges would be cool. People have asked for years for like a way to team up with everyone else to take down some huge boss. Like as random occasional events or something. And that's been suggested a lot over the years, so that may be where they're going, but I doubt it would be. I highly doubt PvP. This isn't a competitive game. I don't see them introducing some kind of competitive thing into it like that. Between Havilar, Ishi, and Neris, who should I get for my time gate? If you already own Havilar, if you already own Ishi and Neris, then you should just get Havilar. I know she's coming up in the next event, but here's the thing: if you pick her up in a time gate, you're gonna get a head start on some gear for her, and you're also gonna do one of the variants, which normally would cost you tokens, and you're gonna get it for free. So if it's coming up as a free time gate, then why not just take it? Man. When choosing Mert tier 1 perks, should I go for local or global perks? Start off with local. So if we come up here to, in general with perks, if you're doing Mert stuff, you want to maximize the local stuff, because that's going to help you while doing his patron variants. If you're then going to jump into Vajra stuff, like go do some Vajra variants, then just reset your influence and then put those points into global. Because you can reset perks, patron perks, you can reset without any loss, because influence is a fixed value. It's only blessings that take a payment, like have a cost. So Is the game sped up or something? Yeah, I have a speed potion on. Yeah. How do we get an epic beard like that? Well, you subscribe at tier 1 or tier 2 to the CNA Games channel, and then you get an emote that has an epic beard like that. I just don't. The way I did it was not shave. Your methods may vary. Does Zrang and Sentry ability stack? If we're talking speed effects, yes, speed effects always work together. Melf and Sentry have. Oh wait, no. Sentry. Hold on. Sentry reduces the number of. I was thinking the other. Havilar and Melf and Human's benefit should stack. Zrang. Enemies have a 25% chance to drop double quest items or count for double quest progress. Yes. So this is something that will work with alongside Havilar and Melf. Sentry reduces the total number of items you have to, or things you have to do to complete a level. That's a completely different thing. So normally you have to complete, like, kill 25 things or collect 25 things to complete a level. This just means when you kill something, it gives you double credit, right? Like Havilar and Melf. Sentry literally reduces the number you have to get from 25 on down to 17, I think. Is that where I'm at right now? Do I have Sentry in? Yeah. Let's look. Yeah, 17 when it's maxed out. So as you'll see, I'm killing things and instantly getting huge chunks of credit. Like I'm killing 2 things and moving forward. Why was that? Because Melf and Havilar, right? So when you add Human onto that, along with Sentry, you'll kill like 1 thing and and then you move forward. It's gonna be wild. Gonna be wild. So yeah, Zrang and Sentry doesn't stack, but they complement each other because they're different abilities. Whew. What else have we not talked about today? What else have we not talked about today? Oh, you know what I need? If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, folks. Oh, hey. Guess what? Everybody can go try to steal my code real quick. Can I beat everybody in before they manually type it? That'd be fine. That'd be fine. Hey, no, I got it. It helps if I'm on the right screen. Got my code. Go sign up for the newsletter. Get your Dungeon Director chest. Is that what it's called? Okay. All right, go get your gold Dungeon Director chest. What were these? Oh, these are my freely chests. So this is the weekend chest. Bada bing, bada boom. What did I get? Anything? Nope. It's bounty contracts. I'll take the bounty contracts with an event coming up. Yes, please. Sign up for the newsletter. Come up here, click newsletter, go to here. Sign up in-game. Get free stuff every week in your inbox. Woohoo! The emails, just to clarify, I have mine already because I signed up in year 1. Emails go out kind of in the order that you signed up, like they go down the list as they get sent out, to my understanding. So if you just signed up recently, it's going to take a little while longer for you to get your email, but they'll all get there. In time gates, I got Xander and Rosie. Slickshot, I'm so sorry. Yeah, pick Rosie. Yeah, pick Rosie. All right, yeah, no, that's not. Okay. Make sure we're on the right page this time. Yeah. I'm still kind of shocked that I'm an emote now. I mean, I figured there would be emotes of some. I figured at some point I would get stylized emotes of me for my own channel, which you can see right down there, where I stream the game on Tuesdays. And Thursdays I stream Motorsport Manager, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I figured at some point I would have emotes for my channel, but now I guess I don't. I would just send everybody over to the CNA Games channel, tell them to subscribe over here so I can get free emotes. But I do have to get that hashtag blessed emote. Damn you. Damn you. Let's see what's going on. Question, should I push to 500 or 600 in my time gates if I have that capability? Sure. but not if it's going to like take forever and ever and ever, right? Like here, this is what I do because I have a lot of power. This is what I do. I throw down an hour's worth of potions, everything but the health, because usually I'm not to a point where I need health. But all the others help me move through quickly. And then I go as quickly as I can, as far as I can. And then I see how much gold I have. But I mean, this is what I do in a time gate. I do the same thing in an event, by the way. Because it's, if I just stop, this makes me kind of stop after an hour. And then I don't have to work, like push too far to work too hard. And I guess probably everybody could do this if they had a lot of potions, but it does burn through a lot of potions. But I just push in for an hour on my first run, and I stop. And then on my second run, I do the same thing with an hour potions, and I see where it gets me. And then I see where I've gotten to. Like if I'm at like 586 after an hour on my second run, so doing the second base adventure, not the variant, but the second base adventure, then I'm going to push a little further and get 600. But then I'm going to peace out, and I'm not going to worry about getting to 700, even though like I can probably get 700 or 800 or 900 if I pushed it real far. I don't necessarily need it. It isn't worth it for me. Like the further you go, the less value there is in pushing for one more silver chest. But early on, when you're at 100, if you can get to 180 easily, and you could probably put like an hour, maybe an hour in to get to 200 and get that second chest, you're doubling the number of silver chests you got out of your time gate, right? Like that makes sense. But if I'm only getting one more, then, you know, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to put in that effort. But your methods may vary. Do what works for you. Hi, Gar, is there a chance that C&E will add Elminster to the game? So Elminster is in the game as someone that you talk to. Like when they have the dialogue options come up and during an adventure, somebody's kind of talking to you and sending you out on stuff. Elminster is in the game in that sense. Elminster is, I feel, way too powerful to show up in the game as a champion. So when they add those super major, mega, powerful, well-known, iconic people to the game, they show up as patrons, right? Like Mert, Vajra, and Strahd would just have broken the game as a champion, but they can come in as a patron. And quite frankly, that makes way more sense for Elminster, as he is, you know, the founder of the Harpers. Like it makes sense that he would give chores out to people and tell them to go do stuff and then reward them for their work. So I feel, this is just my personal feeling, that if he ever showed up, he would show up as a patron. But don't get me wrong. Like year one, I was like, look, here's how you do it. Here's how you do it, C&E. Pay attention. Take notes. Elminster takes up one circle in the formation, and his floating pipe takes up another, and they have to be placed out, but he gets buffs based off how far his pipe is away from him. So if the only place he fits is up front, but the pipe has to go in the back because you need other adjacencies, then you lose out on some of the buffs. But, you know, you're getting a super powerful champion at the cost of 2 slots. That's what I wanted year one. Now I'm just like, nah, just make him a patron. Just make him a patron. Speaking of Elminster, though, if you didn't see it in December, Ed Greenwood, Elminster himself, appeared as a guest on Bardic Inspiration, and they wrote a song on stream. I think it's the Elucidation of Elminster. I believe that's what it is. So check that out. I think there's probably a highlight of it in the highlights on this channel. It was pretty cool. Flashing Zeros, what are you looking for in the next slot 6 champ? Only one left with 5 options. So this would be the Ashara swap, but I just want to look. Is it really the only one left with 5 now? Oh, yeah. We got a lot of champions in the game now, folks. We got a whole lot. So who would I want to... What kind of champion would I want? And a slot that includes Ashara, who's now kind of considered one of the best DPS in the game. Krond, who is one of the better if not the best, evil DPS in the game. Evelyn, who is a fantastic tank, in my opinion. Krull, who's still the best debuffer in the game. Well, maybe fighting with Freely. Krull and Freely are now that Krull's had his bug fixed. He's still, I think, more broken than Freely if you can get lots of stacks, but Freely builds stacks easier, so there's probably a toss-up. But still super solid. Great pickup early for early players because of the amount of gold he gets you. And then Shandy, one of the better speed champions in the game. So we've got two different types of DPS, a tank, a speed champion, and a debuffer with gold find. I mean, what are we missing there? I don't know that we're missing anything there. I think that slot is pretty full. I mean, the issue was we were never using anyone else really outside of speed because Krull. But now you're using, if you're going to use a DPS, it's probably going to be a Shara, or if you're going to like a good, well, neutral DPS, evil DPS, Krond. If you need a tank, you've got Evelyn already. If you need a debuffer, you've got Krull. And if you need just a straight buffer with speed, you've got Shandy. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're probably just going to get another option. So I'm hoping it's not a DPS. Because why would you try to compete with a slot that already has two solid DPS in it? Like, give us another type of support, probably. Like, instead of debuff gold or speed buff, then give us something else. Maybe a healer? No. Maybe just straight up awesome support, though. But yeah, healer's the only thing we're really missing, as people are noting, yeah. Healer's kind of the only kind of support we're missing there. That'd be neat. But it could just be another type of straight up support. Like, whenever you're splitting a support up, well, to me, this is how it feels like to me. Whenever you're splitting up what that support does into multiple tags, so support and gold, you're bleeding off some of the potential support for the gold. Or if you've got support and speed, which speed is an unofficial tag, you're still kind of bleeding off some of that into speed, I feel. So if you just give straight up support, could end up being better than making a trade-off for one of those other things, right? Hey, it's Zuby. With an event champ with no gear, let's see if 3 gold and 5 silver to open. What's the optimal order to open? I would still open the 5 silvers first. Because what happens is if you open up the silvers first, you could potentially get items in all of those slots, potentially all the way up. Like, silvers can drop a blue. So you might be able to drop all the way up there and maybe potentially get a free blue out of something. And then when you go to open the greens, when the golds, the items would drop in other slots than maybe that blue had, right? So you're hoping for that chance that you're going to get something that will make the golds be more efficient because you don't have a lot of them. So silvers, if you're going to wait and do them, if you're going to wait and open them until you have a bunch, then you open the silvers first and then you open the golds. Does Deacon with his feet give more speed than Shandy? I don't think it... I have not done like the stopwatch test, which I think is probably what you'd have to do to figure out who's faster. Shandy speeds up the game itself, everything about the game, and I feel like that's the clear winner. Because Deacon only speeds up the amount of time it takes for an enemy to get from here. Can you see the mouse? Right here. Here, where my mouse is, right on the edge of the screen, to here, where everything starts to take damage. So this one little tiny expanse here, it's what's making those enemies just race out and slam into that damage line. That's what Deacon does for you. And that's what one of Melf's things does for you. And they just, with the fix that's out today... oh, it's on enemy spawn. But yeah, increased enemy spawn speed. The fix that's out today was to make sure that when it super zoom spawns like that, it doesn't move so fast that it ends up in the middle of your formation, which was the thing that happened. And keeps it, puts on the brakes over here where it's supposed to, hopefully. Because that was breaking the game. Literally, you could get Melf and Deacon, their speed and buffs going so high that an enemy would spawn and load in back here behind the formation and then walk off the screen and you'd fail the level. Yeah, that was bad. So yeah, I feel like Shandy's the the better option, just because she works like a speed potion to speed up everything, every action that's going on, and not just how fast the enemies are spawning. I feel like Shandy's better for you. Yeah, Gleaser's like, but you could use potions to get the same buff, but I don't agree that Shandy's second to any other speed champion because of that at all. At all. I would rather use Shandy and fewer potions because those are a limited commodity, whereas Shandy is a constant, always on feature. Yeah, but you're welcome to play it that way. So my Archon party has an average DPS of E123, while he only sets my bud around E118. Any insight into the error? It's not an error. You're trying to compare bud with average DPS, and average DPS is this fickle thing. It's a little better than base DPS, but like if we look up here, my average DPS, it's 157 E108, but my bud says E107. Well, but my hit is 2.14 E108, right? So what's the hit? Like if you look here, hit, not bud, hit. What am I hitting for? Is your hit 123 while your bud is 118? Yeah. I mean, but they're different numbers. They're different variations and calculations, right? Like the average is taking the bulk of what you've been doing in terms of damage and then creating an average that adjusts, but it weighs your most recent hit more than your past hits, but it still factors all that in. So it's this weird math stuff that I don't know. At this point, I don't know why we still have like base DPS and running average. I feel like you just need to educate people on what bud means and how it works and how to use it, and then just get rid of the others. What I read is that the DPS doesn't account for the debuff. Oh, that's base DPS. Base DPS won't account for debuffs. Your running average is literally a running average of the damage you're doing. The actual damage you're doing. It's a factor. It's factoring in it's factoring in all those total damages you're doing. Whereas your bud is literally who just hit the hardest. And then it looks at that hit and it divides it. And then it creates, by your attack speed, and it creates your actual DPS. Like bud is literally your true DPS, kind of. It's got this decay mechanism, but it's based off your actual DPS on whoever's hitting the hardest. If you hit a super debuffed character, it's going to spike. That's where bud spikes come from. And your running average will then change too, because your average, all of a sudden you hit a real high number, it's going to throw off your running average for a long time. So there's lots of reasons why running average could be a problem. Why is Avernus considered so hard? Well, first off, it's hell, right? It's the first of the 9 layers. 9 layers of hell? 9? Is it 9? I don't know my hell lore. But yeah, it's hell. In terms of game mechanics, the level, like usually the goal level is going to be a little higher. But also the math behind like enemy health and thus the gold that you get off things is going to be tuned not in your favor. It's going to be tuned so that health goes up faster, and thus things are harder to kill as you go further and further in. So yeah, that's why it's not just considered hard. It is hard. It's starting off at a much higher difficulty level in terms of can I kill this thing than the other campaigns that came before it. Icewind Dale is in that same vein. We consider them hard right now because these are the hardest campaigns they've released. But at some point, this will probably be the medium campaign. At some point along the way, like you get Sword Coast, which scales in difficulty, starts off super easy and starts scaling up into really hard because it's a forever campaign. So it's always going to get harder as it goes along. But then Tomb of Annihilation and Waterdeep are kind of the easy, completable campaigns. So they're super easy to hop into and push your way all the way through. I think Tomb of Annihilation is easier than Waterdeep, but I think that's in large part due to the blessings that really kind of snowball you through Tomb of Annihilation. Because they give you, I mean, if you just straight up, let's just Let's just go over here and look at this. Tomb of Annihilation right off in tier 1. You get a damage 2,000% damage increase, 200% gold increase, and minus 70% health of undead monsters. And then you get your double damage, right? Like that tier 1 is the chef's kiss tier 1 blessing for a campaign, because the majority of the things you're killing are undead. So it's just saying, hey, we're going to help you kill everything. We're going to give you more gold and we're going to give you more damage, like all right away. So it just becomes super easy to push through. But in general, it's a pretty straightforward campaign, as is Waterdeep. But then it's just suddenly you hit, you know, difficulty level 2, basically, going into Avernus and Icewind Dale. At some point, like I said, in the future, there will be a campaign that's considered harder that, you know, will be difficulty level 3. That's going to really, really be rough. And I, for one, welcome that. Is there any points to doing the time gates more after getting all the chests? Not really. If you've gotten, and one thing to keep in mind is we were kind of talking about this. You have these first 2 base adventures that you do in a time gate. I treat these as my deep runs. So like I said, I run for an hour where, you know, I push as far as I can. Then I run for an hour and I push as far as I can. Then I do this and then I bail. If for some reason I feel like I could easily pick up some more, like we're almost to 500 here. If I feel like I could easily pick up another milestone level, which is every 100 levels is kind of a milestone in a time gate, then I would, because that's going to get me these silver chests. So you get a silver chest for each unique 100 levels that you pass. So the first time you go past 100, you get a silver chest, then 200, 300, 400. So I've got 4 of these. If I can get to 700, I'll have a total of 7 of these. But I can't then go back and run more, you know, to 100 or 200 or 300. I'm not going to get more chests. It's just the first time you get it. So if I feel like I can easily grab a couple more of these, because maybe I wasn't paying attention, maybe I didn't switch from a speed formation to a damage formation, and, you know, and my potion left, and I didn't really get everything I could out of that, and I could easily do a free play and run up to, you know, another 1 or 2 chests, then I'll do it. But I won't necessarily super hard favor farm, primarily because I don't need the favor at this point. If you do need the favor, you can still use the favor farm. It's just that a time gate, when you go to convert a time gate favor back into your regular campaign, it converts at like 25% of the amount that you would get like an event conversion. So whereas the E10 favor would get you a 100% multiplier against your current campaign, so doubling your current campaign's favor, a time gate would give you E10 would give you a 25% multiplier. So it's a quarter as effective in terms of farming favor. But if you need it, you know, go farm some favor. Go farm some favor. Is Gar blurry or is it just me? I think it's probably just you. I look pretty clear on my screen. I've got 2 different versions of me up. But sometimes what happens for me is like if I'm watching a stream and suddenly my internet kind of hiccups for some reason, Twitch will downgrade the quality for me automatically to keep the stream going, but then it won't upgrade it automatically. So if you have it on like auto or something, you might want to change it to like fixed and then back to auto. First 100 for each of the 3 missions? No. It's not first. Okay, let me try to explain this again. So I am doing a time gate. In that time gate, for each unique 100 levels I complete, I get a silver chest. So once I've completed level 100, like I have here, like I've gone to 468. Let's just use this as an example. Maybe this will help. I've gone to 468 already in a time gate. If I were to complete in this first adventure and then go into this and not push any further, just push to 468, I'm not getting any silver chests because I already passed 100, 200, 300, and 400. I already got my rewards for those. I would have to push to 500 to get a new chest. Does that make more sense? And it doesn't matter if I do them here, 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 or here. Don't ever do them here. Do them here, here, or here. Because this is always a variant, and variants always have restrictions that make it harder to push. So you push here, you push here, you do this to whatever that completion area says, which is 75, and you bail. And then if you feel like you want to push some more, you go do a free play. But you don't push here, because that's a waste of your time and energy. Is there a problematic boss not unlike the Devourer in the upcoming event? Ooh, you know what? Let me go check. Gaarawarr's Guide to the Last Event. Let's see if I still have it up. I went through and cleared up over the holidays a bunch of my events. So it might not... No, I updated that one. Okay, hold on. So it's Grand Revel. Let me do a search. So Grand Revel is coming up. Searching Reddit real quick for Gaarawarr's Guide to the Grand Revel Year 3. Oh, no, I found Year 2. Year 2 will work. Did I make any notes? Usually I put a note in if it's like a super hard boss. I'm not seeing any notes. So no, I don't think it's like the Devourer. The Devourer is super annoying. I'm not seeing. Someone else can look up maybe on one of the other sites and see, but I don't see any notes about the boss, so I don't think it's like the Devourer. Devourer is literally the hardest boss out of any event because it literally just one-shots a champion without any warm-up. Just walks in, chomp, and that's it. Oh, here's where I would be switching to a DPS. This is when I was saying earlier, like if I forgot to switch to like DPS champions to push, to continue my push. You get to a point where, you know, you don't need the speed champions. You need your pushing champions. What am I missing here? That's what I'm missing. Nope, that's Crowy. I'm not trying to put Crowy in my formation. I'm trying to put Zorbu in my formation, and we can get rid of Binwin. Sorry, Binwin. One moment. All right. Boom. But yeah, that's the hardest boss. A lot of people have problems with, say, like the Kraken, like the baby Kraken that we fight, or the juvenile Kraken. Which Mox Pearl just broke up. So let's say this. I think the baby Kraken is worse. Devourer can be one hit. Kraken has segmented health. So here's the thing. Segmented health that it recovers. Here's the thing. The Kraken can be one shot with crawl. And it can be one shot at every single level in the game with crawl. So it doesn't matter if you're at level 50 or level 1000. You can one-shot the baby Kraken. Because segmented health means you only have to do 1 point of damage to remove a point of health. So here's the but with the Devourer actually has health that scales as you progress. So you get to a certain point, yes, you can one-shot the or the Devourer through a lot of the game. But I've cleared level 1000. I couldn't really get past level 800 against the Devourer. Because having to one-shot something, it's not even just about him. It's the point, at that point, you've got a lot of debuffs that take time to stack, and that's how you're pushing forward to get that far in the game. One-shotting things isn't necessarily something you do that far into a campaign. But with the Kraken, and this is just advice for anything with hit-based, any kind of hit-based monster, not armored monsters, but hit-based monster, when it's fixed on the screen, so when you load on, it's already there. If you're not, you kind of have to not use speed potions for this. It has to kind of be normal speed because the game's reading the order of operations. As you're progressing from, you know, level 49 or 99 or whatever into the level 50, into the boss, you start spamming your crawl ultimate. And what happens is the second you load into the screen, the boss will be the only thing that exists on the screen, the only target that the game sees. And when Crawl fires off his ult, there is a check to see, because his ghouls are homing missiles. They will check to see. They will look for the first thing, either the closest thing to the party. Well, that's what it is. It checks for the closest thing to the party at the time they spawn, and they homing missiles. So even if enemies spawn in after and run past the Kraken, the ghouls will spawn and run and drop on. They will avoid anything else that comes on screen and homing missile on the Kraken and drop those pools into the Kraken, and those pools will delete the Kraken right away. If you have speed potions on, what happens is the calculation sees the trash mobs that load in on that screen and sends those as the newest thing. But when the Kraken is the only thing on the screen, it will homing missile on the Kraken and avoid the garbage that comes on. Speed screws that up. So get rid of the speed and push as far as you want. But because you can literally just one shot, you can just push a button and beat the Kraken. You can't do that with the Devourer. You can't just hit one of your ultimates. If you're at the point where you can hit one of your ultimates and one shot the Devourer, you're not at your wall yet. Not really. Like like there's probably room for you left to go. Shark Fighter 9000. When do I stop bothering with the Zaka farming? I'm E33 Torms, and it feels like more favor doesn't really help with the patron challenges. Yeah, there's a point where favor... I mean, once you can soft cap, once you can hit that point where there aren't any upgrades left for a champion, favor isn't helping you beat anything, really. Not using your champions, not using a formation. So at that point, you need to be using, other pillars of progression, right? Other ways, other things of power, like leveling up your Modron core, and working on that Modron flow, which I did a guide to recently. You can catch that on the Cena YouTubes. Or working on your patron perks, right? Like you need those other forms of power, because gold doesn't do anything for you. There are still some places where where the only way to pass certain variants is to click through them. Click debuff is kind of the square hole. I'll put the triangle. Where does the triangle go? It goes in the square hole. Click debuff is the square hole of idle champions currently. In that you can beat almost everything in the game via click debuff, even if it's super difficult, even if your champions just aren't up to the task. Click debuff could get you there, but that takes lots of favor. That's the only thing you would need lots of favor for. So if you're to the point where you're soft capping, which is usually just E20, in the E20s, you're soft capping. So if you're all the way into E30, you're well above that. Then it's not really important. Now, as they start to add more blessings, which we did get a hint that more blessings are probably going to be arriving in, soon-ish. As we get more blessings, you may have a reason to get more favor because you'll need to buy those blessings, but we don't know how much you'll need. Is Stokey still very good for push formations, or is she fixed now and not as useful? So Stokey used to be broken in that her key explosion would double dip with debuffs, and it doesn't double dip anymore. Now Stokey's still a cool champion, and you can still use her. She still has the same regular functionality. But if you have someone that's better for her in your formation, then yeah, she's not going to make you go further. Why the code is 14 long? It's not. It's 12. You don't add the dashes. That's just, the code always had dashes. I don't know why. But you don't have to put the dashes in. Jaheira ult for Kraken? No, it won't go far enough. Her ultimate goes right there. So it's going to kill Zariel because Zariel can move up here into the middle. Like it's just to the left of the clickers. The Kraken sits back here. So Jaheira, you have to have something. You have to have a boss that moves and is going to move up into this area. So that has to be like a walking boss. That might hit a Sararak. It might hit a Sararak, but a Sararak is the armored one. And the Soulmonger is the hit-based one, and the Soulmonger is all the way in the back. So, yeah. No Jaheira. Have you talked about Balos GE this weekend yet? I have not. Let's go look at Balos GE. Oh, wait. Did I never buy Freely's GE? B-Dave, I'm sorry. Okay. Morbid Excitement stacks. Yes, please. Yeah. That looks solid. That's going to probably be like a 7 for me. I think I'd do the 7. Because I'd get the GE and I'd get a shiny. Both. And then Baloth is... Oh, wait. Wait, where's Baloth? No, I do have full epic on him. Okay. It's Lucius I don't have full epic on. So yeah, that'll give me... that'll boost up this Morbid Excitement, which I already have up at like level 92. So making it a GE will get me nice stacks. Stacks on stacks on stacks. Because that's his mechanic. I mean, well, the only other one you would want, like the other one you would want is Jin, right? The Entertainer's Ring. This is what a lot of people are like maximizing, like building Jin stacks. And I saw a post where like, oh, Jin stacks should stay through wipes. No. Or you know, like if you're going to, it's the whole manipulation. Like it's a trade-off. Like the only reason you're getting that power across your whole formation is because you're trading time for it. You're trading the time to do that Baloth swap to get the Jin on everybody, right? They're not just going to give it to you for free. But Morbid Excitement, if you're like me and you don't necessarily always want to do that whole Jin thingy. Trying to think what... I wanted to say Jin around the Rosy, but no, that would be like a Rosy Bee Stinger thing. I don't know. Musical Jins? No, because it's not swapping around. Oh, we'll see. Anyway, Morbid Excitement would be just the generally useful one because you can max out. You don't even have to build them yourself. When you hit his ultimate, it maxes them out. So you can just on command max out his bonuses with that, which is pretty nice. It's pretty fly for a bad guy. I went there. What's a good formation or base for a click debuff team? Oh, Cyrus Dane is the one that makes the guide for that. If you want to hit up Discord or Reddit, that's CIRUSDANE. Cyrus Dane. Yeah, look for their stuff. They've got basically it's like a Google Doc that has formations in it and stuff and explanations on how to do it. That is not a thing that I've done it, but that's not a thing I have made a guide for. But they've got they've got generic formations for that, like starter formations and like advanced formations, and that also requires a lot of like Azaka farming. So you got to be really good at Azaka farming too, because that's how you're going to make your money. It basically just relies on the fact that while champions eventually stop getting upgrades, click damage never does. So there is a certain point, if you have enough of the monies, that you can scale your click damage up well above your actual champion damage. Oh, jeez. Apparently you can put the sunglasses on one of my emotes, or probably on all of my emotes. That's hilarious. Chillaxed Gaarawarr, is that? I don't know. Doesn't quite sit right. It's funny though. It's funny. Let's see what else we have here. I don't know. Anybody else have any more questions? We ran out of questions. Is this a slow Friday? Oh, we got like 400 people in here. I think everybody is shocked that, we have new emotes that we've been waiting on forever. I had expected some kind of pancake emote. We knew that. We kind of knew that was coming. And we got it. We got it with the Flip It. Kind of funny because he doesn't cook his pancakes in a pan, but sure. Flip It. But then having emotes for everybody else. So Mars, this is the Mars emote. Because I guess these are headphones. Yeah, this guy's headphones over his hat. Mars likes to wear his black hat. And the beard, which he's growing back. So Mars is guiding hand on Wednesday afternoons. And then Trevor is the host of both Champions of Lore and Champions of Psychology. Champions of Lore is on Mondays. Champions of Psychology is now on Tuesdays. They're both fantastic. Champions of Psychology is pretty neat. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. That's only going to be doing like 10 episodes. So, and I mean, they put them up in both of Trevor's shows end up being, VODs, like all of the shows here are, but Trevor also turns those into podcasts as well. Although the Champions of Psychology isn't up as a podcast yet. And then, Jason Charles Miller, part of Bardic Inspiration on Tuesdays. And then this guy here. Yeah. Interesting. So we just need more tiers of emotes and more emote slots so that we can have emotes for B Dave, who's also on Champions of Lore, and Aaron M. Evans, Aaron of the Thousand Evans, who's also on Champions of Lore. Who else do we have? We need Margaret and Dylan emotes, right? Because they're on the channel. And then there's also there's a Crusader stream and there's a Bushwhacker stream. They should probably get emotes too. Yeah. Bobby, your beard is epic. Thank you. Any estimate how long ago it was you were clean shaven? That's not the right question to ask, but I see why you went there. When I went to college at 17, I stopped shaving and had various levels of facial hair, and didn't fully shave my face again until 2000, like maybe New Year's Day, 2009. I think that was it. And I did that just so that I could be like, okay, I'm starting from scratch and I'm growing. I'm going to grow like a yeared, which is what they call a beard that's taken a year to grow. But then I was like, nah, I'm not doing a full beard. I'm going to do a goatee. And then I did that. But I haven't fully shaved my face again since then. I've trimmed my beard. It's been short. It's been a goatee. Imagine this kind of length. Well, probably not this long, but maybe up maybe that long, but as a goatee. I've done that before. I ran a marathon with a goatee that long. That was challenging. But yeah, I don't shave my face completely. That's not a thing. I look like a 40-something baby if I do that. I don't like it. And it's, my facial hair is my choice, so I don't want to look like that. Human, everybody. Human. That is the pronunciation, apparently. We're going Ferengi. Humans. How about a subscriber special where you show photos of your beard throughout the year? I don't know that I have photos of all the different levels. If you follow me if you go over to my Twitter, you could probably scan back through some of the media part of my Twitter. You might have to go back a ways because this has been here for a couple years now. But there's probably different versions of my facial hair on Twitter. Human. It's like that. Hello, fine bartender. I would like 1 cup of your finest beverage, please. Yeah. Human's coming next Wednesday. Yay. Oh, hey, is the comic with Human in it here? Yes. Oh, yeah. Goes in a little too zoomy. Wait, are you also 3 kobolds under trench coat? What? No, we are a normal human with my normal human features. Hello, fellow peoples. Can you show us to the food, please? Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And Human's in the Icewind Dale campaign as well as an NPC. All the stuff is up. I can't throw this link into chat. Is there someone that can throw this link into chat? Here, let me. Sasha, I'm putting this link in the document at the bottom if you want to throw it in chat, if there's nobody else that can. If you haven't seen it, or it's linked in the Discord. Wait, what? 3 kobolds is actually a thing now? Yeah, 3 kobolds in a trench coat is coming to the game as a champion. And depending on where you place them, a different kobold will be at the top. And thus different things will happen. So, pretty interesting. Thank you, Sasha. Question. Rhea was announced as the next Evergreen champion. Do you know much about her story or background lore? I do not. Because Rhea is, I believe, just straight out of Avernus. So the Descent into Avernus campaign. I have not read through that campaign. Like, I have not read the book. I know, like, the lore about, I mean, if you tuned into Bardic Inspiration last Tuesday when we did a song for Jarlaxle, I might know a thing or two about Jarlaxle. Maybe. I may have contributed more than my share to that song. But that's because I've been reading Salvatore's books, like the Dritz series, and related stuff for, a couple decades, right? So I know that lore. I know that lore fairly well. Do I know it like, am I encyclopedic with it? Can I just call up facts and stuff? No. But I just reread that entire series like last year, maybe? Or no, not. It would have been 2019. I reread that entire series. And I'm fully caught up on the new books and everything. So I've got a solid grasp of that lore. But I have not read Descent into Avernus to know anything about Rhea. I am excited to learn things about Rhea. But we don't know exactly when that Evergreen will arrive. I think they kind of hinted out when Descent into Avernus ends, then she will be arriving either with that final, like, part 10 or with a variant release after that. I don't know. Probably with the part 10. I don't know, though. I don't know that for sure. We just know that once Descent into Avernus ends, once we have completed that storyline, we will then get our Evergreen champion. At some point, it was teased that at some point after we're done with Avernus storyline, we'll also get patron Zariel, but I don't know that that's going to be our next patron because they didn't say right as you finish. They just said after they finish. So, yeah. Round number. How many gold chest contracts do you shoot for an event to get all purples on the newest characters? So, Meancap, for me, because the only champion I ever worry about gearing up in an event is the newest one, because I already have all the others. I try to target enough. I think last time I did 300 gold chests to get the bounty contracts that I had. But I'm thinking 350 is probably the safe number. I think that's what I was going to do for this next one. So I think I'm probably going to open 350 gold chests now each event to see if that gives me enough. Because what I try to do is end up with, even with bad RNG, I try to end up after burning all, because I burn all of my contracts every event. So I'll burn all 500 of these contracts. I want to have 24 gold chests for that one champion, or 24 or more, because 24 gets me, I don't know for full purple. 24 is going to get me at minimum 3 epics, but often it gets me 5, and sometimes it gets me 6. So I shoot to get, I think it's like on day 1, when I burn all my contracts on day 1, I think I start off at like 80,000 tokens. Somewhere between 75 and 80,000. And that usually gets me to 24 golds, even if it's not great. Sometimes, though, I just get bad RNG. And I have to throw down some cash to get to 24. Which is what I did with Talon, but I was going to throw cash at Talon anyway. So, but to get guaranteed all 6, I don't know. I don't worry about that because I have a lot of other resources to use to get there. So, like, I have all of these time gate pieces, 118 time gate pieces. Oh, we got to reset this because I ran out of my potions. Ran out. It doesn't matter that I was still killing and pushing. There's no reason to continue pushing that hard with 0 favor when I could just hop in and do it again with lots of favor and lots of speed champs and just throw some more potions at it. And I'll be able to go even further this time. But more importantly, I'll get through quicker. Because I'll get to all these speed upgrades faster and I'll insta-kill longer. That's the important part. Let's see, where are we going? We're going here, here, here. Bring Briv in. Put him up in the front. Bring the imps out. Bring, bring. But anyway, I was saying I want to use all of these other resources I have, like time gate pieces and patron currency, to finish off gearing up those champions. So like right now I have Lucius, who's missing now 2 epics. He needs 2 more. And I will use time gates and patron chests to get him the rest of the way to full epic. And ideally I will have, the reason I haven't done it yet is because I don't want to just focus on him. I want to have like 3 champions that I'm swapping between, and I'm running a rotation through time gates so that, you know, I don't have to get that goal number up super, super high. Question about the Avernus Tier 2 Blessing. Does that just make it quicker to get to the weekly patron currency cap? Does it add to weekly currency available? It just makes it quick. Well, let me double check. It should just make it quicker to get to the cap. Let me go. Yeah, because it's from free plays. So it just increases the free play currency that you earn. Whereas normally you're getting like 2 per level or something. So when you reset, if you do 100 levels and you would normally have 200 currency, you'll get 10% more. So you'd get 220. So you finish 10% quicker, which just means you spend less time doing those free plays. So it's a time reduction thing. I missed that episode. What style was Jarlaxle's song in? You know, they just kind of went for, he was aiming originally for kind of a slow, darker type of thing, but it ended up kind of being a little fast. I don't know. We'll see after he plays with it a little more this week. We'll see if it settles into something specific, but it felt kind of jaunty in one of the takes. Who do I want? Who am I missing? Oh, Freely. Yes, again, Freely. I want Freely for that free gold find and free favor. Would you let me move champions around, please? There we go. Let's see. It looks like Human is a speed champ that can be approved with items. That's the way it looks, yeah. That's the way it looks. That's the, basically, if we go back down here, it's carefully balanced, is what affects Zerang's teamwork ability. And Zerang's teamwork ability is the double quest items or double quest progress, effectively. And that is the slot 4, carefully balanced. So it looks like you can affect the speed effect there. Whereas if you just want to increase the buffages, you would go slot 3. Like slot 3 is the number. Yep, yep, yep. I'm looking forward to it. Back to the game. How do you like the Gaarawarr chests? No, they're Electrum Chests. That's an iris on it, not a beard. See, iris. I mean, I like them. Spoiler, I got to open like a bunch of these a few weeks ago to see what they were like. But I thought they were neat. I like that it gives out lots of different stuff. I like that you're guaranteed to get specific things. So you're always going to get an equipment card. You're always going to get a gem card. And getting gems is always nice. You're always going to get a bounty contract and a blacksmithing contract, and you're always going to get a potion. So the fact that you're guaranteed to get contracts is fantastic because, I mean, that's a big deal. That's one of your long-term things that are going to help. Like, not only do blacksmith contracts help you boost your item levels across all of your time gate and event champions, which is what they should be used on. Those bounty contracts are what allow you to get that solid gear for the event champion in the first place. So for me, those are huge because, like I said, I want as many bounty contracts as possible so that I can get that champion as close to full epic as possible right out of the gate. Because that means I don't then have to use all those other limited resources that I have that are more valuable. Like patron currency is probably one of the most valuable things in the game at this point. So yeah, it's nice. I like the bonus. Will Human cap at 100% or go over? I don't know. I would assume it'll go over because the other champions that that have that effect where they add double bonuses can go over. Like specifically Melf. Melf goes up, 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 and away, right? 315% chance of increased quest drops is where I have him. So, yeah. So he gives multiple credits. So I would assume that works. Gaarawarr does this as well with her imps. Fiendish Resolve. But it's just straight up drop 2. Right? So. But Gaarawar's effect of dropping 2 should multiply against Melf to increase. When is who coming? Human is coming on Wednesday. So that would be February 3rd. Oh, geez, we're out of January now. Yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, February 3rd, noon PM CNE time. Wrath the Brown, is there a chance to get a shiny from an Electrum Chest? There is. There is. So because it drops gear, there is the same 1 in 1,000 chance to drop a shiny. And because it's for every champion, that means for end-game players, you now have a consistent flow of chests, free chests that get you a chance to get a guild for your event champions. So yeah. Does this coat make my lower kobold look fat? No. No. The fact that your lower kobold is fat is what makes your coat look fat. But that's fine. Kobolds come in all shapes and sizes, and they're still every bit as effective in your formation. Yeah. Don't think. I mean, I could try to. We got like a half an hour left. Do a little more speed. Let's just see how far we can get. You can have a little speed as a treat. What exactly does Briv's spring jump do? It doesn't seem like a faster transition. You're not transitioning from one scene to the next. You're jumping at least one level. So like here, where I just transitioned from 113 to 114, if Briv jumped, it would have gone 113 to 115. And the higher you get his percentage up, like if you go over 100%, it then becomes a 50% chance to jump 2 levels. And then if you go over 100% of that, it becomes a 50% chance to jump 3 levels. And that goes on continuously, which is why Briv is a giant black hole of item levels. Just huge, huge black hole. I'm out of haystacks or we'd be jumping. I know I'm out of haystacks. Yeah, he doesn't have any. But yeah, he jumps at least 1 level. So the higher you get the item levels, the faster you can get through the game because you'll be jumping multiple levels at once. How do we get more Electrum Chests? Only through codes. Yes. So from now on, streams like this one and podcasts that you listen to on wherever you find your podcasts that are Idle Champions partners or Idle Champions specific content, the codes that they have and give out that usually end up in the Discord or posted on the subreddit, those will all be Electrum Chests. There may be a rare occasion where they make it something else, but the idea is this is the giveaway chest from now on. These are the free chests, which is good because frankly, there comes a point where more gold chests are just kind of like, like you don't necessarily need all these outrageous item levels on your core champions, like 1281 on Brunor. Like we don't need, I'm going to get this anyway, just from looting lots of silver chests and stuff. So I don't need the extra gold chests. I mean, you know, they occasionally gave me a nice thing, but I would rather have, by opening these, I would rather have a chance to fill out a collection for all event champs, a chance to gear up new event champs, because these don't help with that, and a chance to get shinies for time gate and event champs. That this doesn't help at all. This only works on core and evergreen. This works for everything. So these are actually, you know, these are super nice. And there's now, what, there's like 10 shows just on this. Isn't there? Aren't there like 10 shows? Hold on. So Champions of Lore, Improvised Champions, which is going to go on a break for a bit. Then there's Tuesday, there's Champions of Psychology. Later on in Tuesday, there is Bardic Inspiration. And then there's Evergreen Champions and Mars's Guiding Hand. And then Idle Insights. And then Griddle Champions, and then Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything, and then Gaarawarr's Guide to Specific Topic. Yeah, 10. So there's 10 shows with an 11th coming in February at some point. So you're going to get at least 10 of these a week just from the streams on this channel, plus 2 from the podcasts from streams on this channel, plus a bunch more from all of those other partnered streams and podcasts that are out there. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of Electrum Chests every week. Is Who-Man a C&E original character? To a certain extent, possibly. I'm not sure. Is it in Icewind? Is Who-Man in Icewind, in the book, Icewind Dale book? Again, I haven't read the Icewind Dale book, but 3 kobolds in a trench coat was kind of created by Wizards of the Coast, but I don't know if it was specifically these 3 kobolds in a trench coat. I'm not sure. Somebody with more information. Is Dylan here or Chris or somebody? Only thing the gold chests help with for me are for feats for the new champion Evergreen. Yeah, but you're going to get a lot of those gold chests anyway, right? Like I said, I mean, these are just, since the last event, this is a combination of loot and those stream codes, right? But I'm also going to buy a ton of gold chests just from the shop, and that will get me all the feats I need for new champions. So that should be fine. Can Electrums also drop feats? No. What are Electrum Chests? How are they different? Oh, we can do this again. We just did all this, but we'll do it again. It's only going to come from streams and like, you know, partner giveaways and streams and stuff like that. You can't buy them. They're not for sale anywhere. They're always going to drop 5 items, and it's always going to be 1 equipment card for any champion with gear that goes from white to blue. So no epics, no feats, because there isn't an option for that here, right? 1 gem card, 1 bounty contract, 1 blacksmith contract, and 1 potion. So the rarities are always going to be common to rare. So always white to blue for all of those things. And because it's always going to drop one of those, it can't ever drop a feat, but it can drop a shiny. I think he has art in the books, but he's mostly been a joke. Don't think he's an NPC. Yeah, I mean, he's on t-shirts, but yeah. So please says a non-named 3 kobolds, but Who-Man themselves is made by C&E and story. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I kind of took, was that they actually named it and built some lore about the 3 kobolds in the trench coat. But the generic 3 kobolds in a trench coat was something that had come out before. But now we get an actual one. So gold for feats and purples for your evergreens. Yes. If your evergreens are purple and don't need feats, Electrums are your jam. Yeah, I mean, you'll still open, you'll save up the golds in the same way you kind of save up silvers, because you'll just save up golds until a new champion comes out, and then you open the golds to get their feats. I open golds to get after. Basically, I burn through all of my bounty contracts when an event starts, like day one of an event. I dump them all. And I burn all my silver chests. And then I open up all the gold chests. And like I said, this time I would try to target around 300, but now I'm going to go to 350 because that then rebuilds the stockpile of bounty contracts for the next event. And that's how I make sure I'm gearing up my event champion roughly equally every event. So. Yeah. So I got past 600, which is why I have 6 freely chests. So I should easily be able to get to 700 on this run and grab another chest. That'll give me also, when I complete it, will give me my second one. And then I will do the, after the stream is over, I will do the Team Smart Defense Team. But once I get to 75 and the completion things pops up, I'll hit complete. And then I'll close this time gate. And it won't have been open but for like 3 hours. And I'll be done with my time gate for the weekend. But that's what you can do when you've got a lot of power. Oh, and one of the nice things is, and one of the reasons I'm gaining so much favor is, you know, slot 1, I have that first modest core fully epicked out in slot 1 in this active team because now I also, as of last weekend, have my fully piped out strong core, which I decided was named a strong core because the flow can easily get super strong. That's just it. That's canon now. It's the strong core because the flow gets so strong. Because if we look up here, where is it? Right here. 87,802.82 flow. Oh, and I have so much empty space. So much empty space and blank pipes. But yeah, I built out way too much. Like, it was kind of the right amount through here because see, we're in the 8s and 9s and stuff. But then suddenly we're at like 124, and then I went crazy through here, and then it just went wild in here, and yeah. Up here it's only 330. Only 330. And about 600 here. Yeah. But over here, because this was so big and it just made for such the perfect place. If we want to zoom in, I built this I didn't build this side on stream, but I built the left side. I built down the middle and up the left side on stream for Gaarawarr's Guide to Modron Flow, which was last Saturday's show. But over here, if you'll note, I have 2 333 X's, and that just basically destroys everything. Eventually, you could even put another set here and then pump it into here, and things would just get real. If I had one that worked here, I mean, things can get real crazy here. They give you such large blocks of open space on this pipe for buff boxes that you could just get real wild and get real strong flow. And I definitely didn't, this definitely isn't maximized, but, more pipes could make it that way. More of the right pipes could make it that way. Whereas this one, I mean, you get a nice box here, and you can then build another one, which gets you through to here. And then you could do some crazy stuff here, but I just haven't quite had the pieces ever to really build that up here. And there's potential for a little miniature buff box here and here. There's definitely a lot more room over here. So, I mean, there is potential to get it a lot higher, but it's never been 4 digits for me in that first core, but I accidentally got 4 digits on the second and then ended up in 5 digits. So, question, how do you turn on champion voices for journal chat? Can't find it in the option. There aren't any. That's why. There's no voiceovers in this game. You can go watch Improvised Champions on Monday afternoons, where Mark Meir and Christina Ariel read all the dialogue in voices as they go through adventures, along with the help of Arisha and Baloth, their characters, to fill in and improv in between the dialogue stuff, with the help of Havant, the Masked Lord of Waterdeep, one of the Masked Lords. But yeah, there are no voiceovers in this game. So, just trying to make some buff boxes, but I don't have the right pipes. Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Modron Flows. You got to have the right pipes. You just got to keep opening chests until you get the right pipes. It's all RNG about like, are you getting a T or an X? And if you do get a T or an X, does it have the right directions on it? Like, that's really what it came down to. A lot of the stuff when I was building that out, I went through all my thought processes last Saturday. So I tried to talk through, what was going on in my mind, so everybody kind of understood how I was going about building that. So you can apply that thought process to your own cores. But it does all come down to directionalities. Well, at least you didn't go overboard. Yeah. Look, when I read off, there's probably, I don't know anybody clipped it, but at one point I was like, oh, and that's 108 flow. And then I'm like, wait, how's it 108 when it was at 200? And then I'm like, oh, that's 1,008. I'm like, that's it. I'd never seen 4 digits before. It just caught me by surprise. Yeah. Just hit level 9 on my motor core. Still need to figure out how to get that Constitution node without screwing up the rest of my float. Oh, really? That's the wrong button. Gaarawarr. Face palms in chat. I can now say that. Face palms in chat. But I don't know. Does everybody have... Is that the tier... No, that's this one. So yeah, that's a tier 1. Good. They made Gaarawarr facepalm the tier 1. Everybody can facepalm in chat. All right. Are we talking about this one? I'm assuming you mean this one, because this is in the first core. This is the node that is always rough. And like I said, you have to kind of, like this is, you kind of have to buff box here and then hit it on the way back. Like as you pass across, you just have to shoot up into that. Because if you try to branch off and go straight to it, it's just not going to work. There's probably a way to branch over here. Like I could probably, with the right X, I could split off. And then I could T here and it could combine. But there's no point if when I get here it's already at 9.7. It's more important to build the flow so that you're hitting like this at Epic when you first ditch off into it. And this and split to come over here. They mentioned doing something for overflow at some point. Yeah, I mean, they kind of talked about that. Which is why... at some point, having that, 5-digit flow is going to really improve, the buffs I'm getting off of that second core. Right now, I have my first core is set up to really just be minimal, just barely get over 4. Just because I wanted to have the pipes available for that second core. But now that I've so overpowered that second core, now I'm like tempted to go back and rebuild it to be minimal as well, so that I'll have a big pool of pipes ready for the third core, because that's going to happen. It's going to happen. FYI, Familiar Friday will be starting up right after this stream. Yay! So for those who don't know, Trontonian streams on his channel, twitch.tv/Trontonian. Usually Fridays right after this ends. Head over there and say hi. He calls it #Familiar Friday because usually he gives away a familiar to some lucky viewer. Or that 5-digit flow is going to scare them to not implementing overflow. Oh, no, people have been getting 5-digit and probably 6-digit flow long before I did. I think you could easily get 6-digit flow on that core. I don't know if you get it on the first one. It's probably possible. People have been doing that for a long time. In alpha, when it was even easier to build flow at one point, the numbers were way up there too. So they knew about that and were like thinking about that way back then. But, version 1.0 of something is always just an initial iteration. And then they have to find time to go back. And even if you get great ideas to iterate on, like you need time to get that first part out and fix all the bugs with it and make sure it's working before you then start iterating on it again and adding more stuff. What's the spelling? It's right there on screen. He's in chat. It's like when people ask me how my name's spelled. It's spelled just like it sounds. Yep. Just straight out. But yeah. It's phonetic. It's Gaarawarr. When is the third core coming? I don't know. This year at some point. But they don't give me dates for that. I don't get to spoil that kind of content. Have I ever spoiled any content? Kind of. Oh yeah, we get like sometimes when they're releasing stuff for like their quarterly day of celebration, whatever they want to call it. They'll give me like a GIF of something that I get to spoil, but that's usually it. Other stuff I don't get to spoil. But you know, when they drop these on a Friday, we get to talk about Human or whatever the newest champion is first, which is nice. And then they surprised us with this today, which is all the emotes. Yeah, I can't scroll up or down when I do this, but we get most of them in there. We get 8 of the 12 in that. I think this is a pretty good range of emotions for things, right? So across the board between all the different streamers. I think it's pretty funny. All right. Who would you suggest slot 7? I was thinking Jim for his Abyssal Chicken, but wasn't sure if you should prioritize your wants. I don't prioritize your wants. Prioritize usefulness over the year of champion. Usefulness. Don't just grab your ones because you're like, oh, well, they're not going to come in an event. No, grab things that are going to be useful for you. Once you have all the champions that you feel are useful for you, then you can do stuff like prioritize your ones. Slot 7, though, Freely is the most powerful champion in slot 7 if you don't have Freely yet. If you do have Freely, then the most useful after that, I would think, would be Jim because of his ability to create Abyssal Chickens to get rid of crawl leftovers, but also to create mimics for Azaka farming. So there you go. Bakery Dragon, very basic, but is there a way to change the font size at all? I can't find anything in the settings. I don't think so. It's probably like, I don't know if UI scale affects it. This would be the only thing that would be remotely close, but I don't know that that affects it at all. It might. I mean, that makes things, definitely makes things bigger, but I don't know. Did it make all the, it makes the text a little bit bigger. I don't know about for the dialogue boxes though. I don't know if it changes the dialogue boxes, but I think that's the only thing that's gonna change things, because they tend to be kind of fixed space. Like if you were to just change the font size, you'd overflow this box up here, right? I think that's why they use fixed sizes and then you scale the UI. Kind of getting into the last question because we're almost out of time here. But remember, tomorrow will be Gaarawarr's Guide to the Heroes of Erois at 9 a.m. Here, 9 a.m. CNE time here on this channel. So join me for that. Where do you think Talon ranks for slot 2 champs? I think they're the best non-healer. Which isn't a whole lot of competition against Krydal, I guess. But I don't really know because I've got a big affinity. Usually I'm using like Dinar if I'm just generally pushing because I like the heals everywhere. And I will use Regis for debuffs at times if I'm trying to push super far. But I mean, like right now I'm using Talon. Just straight up power. If I don't need heals, I'm gonna go Talon. But I haven't like ranked them. How many of them has the game go that quick? I have champions that are called speed champions, quote unquote speed champions. They have speed effects, but I'm also running a lot of potions of speed. So we're running at 5.9 times game speed currently. And that's going to be it for this show. We are out of time. Womp, womp, womp. Join me tomorrow. tomorrow morning for a little morning Gaarawarr with Gaarawarr's Guide to the Heroes of Roas. Well, basically, I'll be talking about all the different heroes. We'll go over their abilities for those of you who maybe don't have them all or haven't really taken a deep dive into them. We'll look at them all a little more closely and how they fit together in a formation just with each other. And then, you know, maybe how to then balance out what a formation would look like. Maybe a couple different options. Not like, oh my God, this is the very best Heroes of Roas formation ever. Oh my God. But like just giving you ideas of how to build out around the Heroes of Roas. So join me for that. I guess Gaarawarr's in chat. We can Gaarawarr's in chat now. But I will see you there. Again, Familiar Friday. If you want to, head over to Trontonian stream. Other than that, I will see you in the morning. Bye, everybody.